cute fairy houses out of just a recycled bottle and homemade clay. This is an adult program brought to you from our summer reading program, Imagine Your Story. So for this project, you're going to need your clay mixture, an empty bottle that's recycled. Make sure you've cleaned out any liquids that were in it. Cup of water with your paintbrush, and a plastic fork or knife, or you can use toothpicks or a popsicle stick just to make some of the indentations we'll do a little bit later. I would also make sure you have some wax paper for your project to sit on and paper towels for easy cleanup. Alright, so we're going to take a whole bunch of this and flatten it out as thin as we can get it without actually tearing, to begin putting on our bottle. We're going to cover the whole thing in the background of the clay mixture. I thought it was fun at this point to do like little thumbprints, or like even where the clay is meeting together is going to look like a neat little siding once it dries. We're going to go all the way up the neck of the bottle too, because that's going to make our little roof. You want it thin enough that you can't see the bottle through it, but not too thick, because then it's going to take longer to dry and just be too heavy overall. Get all these pieces filled in. We want our fairies or gnomes or whoever's going to live in this house to be nice and warm at night. So we've got our whole bottle covered, and if you are a perfectionist and don't like the way that it looks when it's joined, you can take a little bit of water to smooth that out, and then those joins will go away. But like I said, I think it gives it a little bit of a character look to it, kind of like stucco, and I like to think that my fairy built this house themselves, so it's going to have a little bit of a homemade look. Next, we're going to take a little bit of the dough. Ooh, kind of crumbly. Roll it out real nice and tight. This is going to be our doorway. Should stick pretty well to itself, but if it is having a little bit of trouble sticking, remember you can take a finger drop of water and stick it underneath there, and then that should help it to stick to itself. And of course we're going to need a little doorknob so that they can get in. And maybe a little bit of a window. Make it almost a circle, like a semicircle to put on the top there. And that way they can see who's coming to visit. Now we can take our plastic knife or toothpick or whatever we've got for our tool here and make a little line in the window. Perfect. Now, my fairy loves the natural light, so her house is going to have lots of windows in it. And these are just going to be flat circles. Put it right on there. Got a little. Perfect. And one on the side. One on the top here, or upstairs. And don't forget the back of the house. There. And then one on the other side. Now, the only thing you have to be really careful of is because the whole bottle is covered with clay, you can't squeeze it too hard to put decorations on one side because then you'll end up squishing out the other side. So we'll come back and make sure that that's still nice and pretty. And then we'll take our little knife again and make those window cutouts. Alright, so we've got that looking really good. I'll squish that window. Here, let's fix that. There we go. Everything's still tight on the bottle. Get my thumbprint out of there. And we can set it to the side while we take our lid. And first, make a tight little ball. To sit right on the top of there. And then we've got it squished out for our base of our roof. And this is where you can get real creative if you want a tall pointy roof or maybe just a flat roof. This part is completely up to you. Clay packed together here. Roll it into a cylinder, and that's going to come around and be my side. Almost the whole thing. So I've got the cylinder there, and I'm gonna make mine just a little bit of a point. Kind of make a pyramid shape, square for it to get based on. Taking some of the water to smooth it out so it doesn't look so disjointed from where I joined it together. That looks good. And you can see where the water smoothed it out at. And we might do a little bit of shingle work. You don't want it to be too heavy. Just some light little shingles for the side. Even though the fairy may have made the house herself, it's been here a long time. So it's okay if the roof looks like it might need repaired. She might have that on her to-do list for the next few weeks. Then we're gonna do some more shingling around the very top of the bottle. Not where the threads for the cap are, just underneath that. Oh, that looks good. And that way, when everything is dry and the roof goes to sit on it, it looks like one little piece. And then from here, if you wanted to add some more windows or maybe a back door, you could even do like little flower boxes if you're very good with the clay. Make a little box. Just fit right outside her doorway. When it's dry, which takes about 48 hours or 2 days, you can paint it any way you like. And that's our clay fairy house. For this homemade clay recipe, we're going to be using 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, then we're going to mix those together before you add in 1 3/4 cups of warm water. Warm water is important because it helps the ingredients mix together and hold together better. 1, 2, 3. And 4. And 1 cup of salt. Then we'll blend those till they're nice and even. This is also the time to get any of those clumps in your flour out. That'll make blending the clay and the water easier. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to do one and 3/4 cups of water. This is the fun part. It'll feel real gross and mushy at first, but then you'll see it start to blend together and make that kind of a Play-Doh feel. If you're the type of person who doesn't like getting messy, I would say to wear gloves during this part. But at the end, when it's all blended, it actually flakes off pretty well. We'll want to make sure that we're getting all of the sides and even the bottom to make sure that all of our flour and salt mixture is mixed in with the water. And now we've got our homemade clay.